Welcome everyone to another live stream. Hopefully everyone is doing great. And we have another week and another bearish event that is tanking the markets essentially. It's not as bad as some people make it out to be. In fact, I think this Bybit hack can be turned into something positive, because if they end up essentially giving back everyone their lost funds, that will set a very good precedent, and that's going to be really bullish for all centralized exchanges that have more than 100% of their assets reserved. And the exchanges that I use all have at least 100% of their assets reserved, but most of them have even more than that, like OKX, Gate.io, and Binance. But we're going to take a look at Bitcoin's price. We're going to take a look at the market. So we're going to take a look at a few news pieces from Twitter. And if you have any altcoins you'd like me to take a look at, as always, we'll do that by the end of this live stream. So Roz is saying, doubt they'll recover most of it. So they don't have, well, even if they don't recover, they'll be able to repay their customers that were affected because they have their reserves, obviously. So I think it shouldn't be an issue as long as all of the users are repaid. This can be turned into a good thing, showing that crypto exchanges have actually grown since the FTX FUD, and now we don't try at least to screw users as much as they did before. Even though I think leverage trading is the most obvious way to screw users, but that's a different topic. So jumping into the CoinMarketCap page, Ethereum is still trying to do something. We're getting more bullish sentiment on Twitter regarding Ethereum. Some people, including Alex Becker, sold their Solana for Ethereum. It's possible we're going to have an Ethereum run. If that does happen, then we're going to have an alt season. We're definitely going to have an alt season. I did share this with you the past two streams where Ethereum against the Bitcoin chart is looking like it's in the demand zone. Well, it is in the demand zone. And then the market cap dominance for Bitcoin is in the supply zone. We're going to take a look at the dominance chart over here. And if we go to the monthly chart and we zoom out, we have a very similar picture to this of January 2021, which is essentially when the alt season kicked off. This is when the alt season kicked off. And you can see we had a big monthly candle with a big wick. We also have a big wick over here. We're going to see how the month of February closes. And this essentially led into this massive correction from 73% all the way down to 39%. It's possible this alt season will not be as grand as the one that we had in 2021. However, I do think we'll have one nonetheless, and I would be expecting a move down to 44% in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. So make sure to pay attention to these charts. I'm not saying Ethereum is going to get to $15,000, but I'm saying that Ethereum can have some sort of a run. If we go to Ethereum's chart, let's see which one's better to use. Okay, let's use this one. This is the monthly on Ethereum. And let me know if the audio is working fine. It should be working fine. So if we're taking a look at Ethereum here, you can see that we have a Fibonacci retracement from the bear market bottom in June 2022. So when Ethereum bottomed out before Bitcoin, and we have our top from November 2021, and we have a minimal target at $6,924. I think that's a reasonable price to expect from Ethereum by the end of the cycle. Some people may say, well, that's barely, 150%. It's 146%. But I think $7,000 is really good, especially if you're buying during these bottom prices here. For example, from the ultimate bottom here in June 2022, that would be a 683%, which is almost an 8x. So it's not bad. And keep in mind, Ethereum is the second largest crypto in the space. So it can do a 50x even if you wanted it to in this cycle. Now, the monthly RSI did move down slightly. So I think we're setting up something here for Ethereum. if we switch over to my other Ethereum chart where we have the Elliott wave structure, we're going to go to the weekly here. So what's happening here is we're hopefully concluding our wave 4 here. That consists of this A, B, C correction, okay? And it's an irregular correction. Let me get that. So once this plays out, we're going to be looking at the completion of this wave 5. So hopefully this wave 5 is going to take us at least to the 1.272 at around $7,000, which is what we discussed. And I think that's a pretty good scenario for Ethereum. That's not the best scenario, but that's a pretty good scenario, as long as we don't have a massive crash. So if we do end up having a crash and Ethereum crashes below this wave 1 top at $2,150, then this whole Elliott wave structure is invalidated. Now, BNB is supposed to have some sort of a run as well, because now Binance US allows US deposits. Okay, so now US users are able to deposit their USD onto Binance, and therefore we could have more demand for the BNB coin. And BNB has been doing pretty well, to be honest. Solana is doing well, but it's dropping below $180 due to the FUD. And I mean, I'm not saying that Solana is only meme coins, but a lot, like I think 60% of Solana transactions are meme coins. So you have to keep that in mind, but it's still smoking Ethereum in terms of revenue and in terms of volumes. So Cardano is sitting at 77.5 cents. I would say this is a safe trade. I did enter Cardano for a short to medium trade due to the potential announcements from Charles Hoskinson about some partnership with the government or perhaps even Microsoft. So I'm definitely going to take profits if we get a news like that. It'll be a sell the news event for me. A lot of people are bullish on SUI. So you could buy SUI right now. Of course, not financial advice, sitting at $10.5 billion. But if you're looking for something that has more upside potential, I would look at Aptos and Say. So Say should be somewhere down here. There we go. 1.3 billion. Look at these few projects. And another one to mention is Radium. This is the #1 DEX on Solana. Make sure to look at this as well. Let's jump into some news. Now, regarding the Bybit's 1.4 billion massive hack, and this is supposed to be the biggest hack of all time, not even crypto-wise. In general, this is the biggest hack that we've had in history. So CEOs, or rather the previous CEO of Binance, Changpeng Zhao, is commending the CEO of Bybit, Ben Zhao. They have the same last name, which is a funny coincidence. And he's commending them on their transparency, which they have been transparent. We have to admire that. Obviously, a lot of exchanges try to hide any issues they may be going through. But in this instance, Bybit were pretty transparent. They said, yes, this happened, everyone's affected, and they're working on a solution. So we should never take our security for granted. That's what the Mr. former Binance CEO said. Attack exploited multi-sig systems, which means multi-sig essentially means wallets that, or systems that require multiple signatures. So it's not only one person that has to sign in order for the transaction to be confirmed, it's multiple wallets that have to do that. And this is essentially what happened. So CZ urges swift safety measures. Openness helped calm users. And I think that's very important. And the less panic there is, the better it is for the markets. And like I said, as long as they reimburse their users, it shouldn't be a massive, well, it is a massive issue, obviously, but it shouldn't, it shouldn't have this massive ripple effect like the one that we had from the FTX FUD. Now, talking about the Bitcoin cycle top theories, this is an interesting one. I've shared this before. So this is an insane cycle top scenario. In previous cycles, Bitcoin tops occurred 16 and 17 months after the halving event, usually at the end of the year. If this trend continues, the next top could be by the end of year 2025 with a significant price surge. This is coming from Titan of Crypto. I recommend you follow him. And let's jump into the Bitcoin chart and let's see what that entails. I'm going to try to go for a more clear chart. Well, we can use this one. This is the one that we've used for a very long time. Actually, no, let's go to this one because this one has the halvings marked. So the vertical white trend lines are the halvings, and we're going to count the top from the halving. Okay, so that's 13 months if you're looking at the first bull market. Now, if we're looking at this bull market here, this is the bottom, this is the halving from 2016, and the cycle top from 2017 December. That is 17 months. Okay, so 518 days or so. Well, yeah, it is 518 days. We have, so the red infographics here, these are showing you the distance or the days between the halving and the bull market top. So it was 518 days in 2017, and it was 549 days in 2021. So 17 months in the second bull market. What about the third bull market? Let's calculate. So we had the halving in May 2020, right after the COVID crash. And it was 17 months after the halving. Okay, 17 months, 549 days. We already did the calculations for the cycle top based on these previous cycles. You can check that video out on my channel. I'm going to show it to you right now. If you go to my uploads, and you take a look at this right here, the bull market will top on this day. We have 4 dates based on the calculations that we made according to previous bull markets. So that's an interesting video for you to look at. Now let's start calculating the months from the current halving. Okay, so the halving occurred on April, I believe it was 20th or the 18th of April 2024, and 17 months would take us to September 2025. In fact, one of our 4 dates from that Bitcoin video aligns with September. So September is going to be a very interesting month to look at. And I'm not saying you have to hold your entire bags until September. All I'm saying is that you want to be securing profits as you're going up. You don't want to be holding your bags trying to catch the top. That's not what we try to teach here on the channel. Okay. And let me know, what do you think about these 4 dates? If you've seen the video, what is your prediction for the cycle top? In terms of prices, I'm looking at $150,000 to $156,000. That's my conservative prediction. I don't need Bitcoin to go higher. I'll probably be almost 95% out of the markets when that happens. So this is regarding Titans of Crypto metric here about the 17th month being the top of the cycle, which it still could definitely play out. It could still definitely play out. Next up, this is another interesting indicator that I'm going to share with you right now. It's called the terminal price. And right now, the terminal price moving average surpassed $200,000. And this is coming from Bitcoin Magazine. Historically, one of the most accurate Bitcoin cycle peak prediction metrics, the terminal price now anticipates a bull market top to exceed $200,000. And if you go to bitcoinmagazine.pro.com and you go to the, let's see. So if you go to the on-chain indicators on the left-hand side, you'll find the Bitcoin terminal price indicator. And if you pay attention to the previous cycle tops, they were all slightly above the red line. Okay? You just graze. Here in 2021, you basically just grazed the moving average and you correct it from there. And that was, by the way, that was April 2021. So according to on-chain indicators, the bull market top in 2021 was in April 2021. So that's something important to keep in mind. Even though the price did surge past its all-time high in November 2021, the on-chain indicators, including the relative strength index indicator on our price action charts, showed a bearish divergence. So that was essentially your last chance to get out of the markets, but a lot of people didn't, and they ended up, going through this bear market because they were hoping for a $100,000 Bitcoin. Now, is the $200,000 Bitcoin price prediction going to cause this same effect where a lot of people don't sell at 150, at 180 because they're expecting 200,000? We'll have to wait and see, but I assume there's going to be, 90% of people are not going to sell. They're going to lose their money. And the 10% that are going to make money are going to do that because they're selling, because they have their targets and they have their exit strategies. And your exit strategy shouldn't only be based on numbers. So it shouldn't only be based on a price of an altcoin, because if that altcoin doesn't reach that price or just barely gets there, or maybe is a few cents off, you're not selling. And if that is the cycle top for that specific altcoin, you're screwed. So it shouldn't only be based on the prices. And if you are interested in my exit strategies based on simply based on prices, right? Because I look at other metrics, but we do have exit strategies on our Patreon. So feel free to take a look at that. The link will be down below in the description. And you get 7 days off. So you can access almost 1,000. I think at this point it's more than 1,000 posts that we have on Patreon, including podcast episodes, exit strategies, more than 100 videos on low cap gems that you can take a look at right now. This is the time to be getting into those low caps. So that's free for 7 days. Make sure to look at that. And make sure to add, as you can see, I have a bunch of these indicators already pinned on my browser because I like to monitor them on a daily basis. So we have the MVRZ score or MVRV Z score. And we also have the cycle top or the Pi cycle top indicator, which a lot of people are saying, and some analysts are saying, is not going to give us an accurate bull market top this time around, even though it did it last 2 cycles or 3 cycles. And you can see in 2021, it was also in April. Again, confirming that the cycle top on-chain, based on the on-chain metrics, was back in April 2021. So this is a very interesting indicator. Next up, South Dakota bill to allow state to invest in Bitcoin now has a hearing scheduled on Monday. This is coming from the Bitcoin magazine. And again, this is further showing everyone that we are in a Bitcoin race where individual states in the United States are racing to start buying Bitcoin. So I think at this point, it doesn't really matter if the US federal government announces a specific Bitcoin reserve or digital assets reserve, even though it will be bullish. I think this enough is proof that we have a massive demand for Bitcoin in terms of governments, in terms of institutions. We have lots of companies in Canada, small businesses buying Bitcoin. We have institutions in Japan buying Bitcoin. This is going to cause a price surge, and this is going to cause a supply crunch because Bitcoins are getting swept up like crazy. And I think I forgot to bring up that piece of news, but Strategy, or previously known as MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor announced that they raised another $2 billion to purchase more Bitcoin. So the train is never going to stop at this point. And this is another interesting piece of news, and this is something that is going to help us get into an alt season. So this is China's M1 money supply chart, and they essentially doubled since December. China's central bank just turned the money printers on max. What happens next? And I think what happens next is that Trump gets the Federal Reserve to start cutting rates. It's interesting what they're going to do with the Federal Reserve. And also, they're going to try to devalue the US dollar because that will help other economies, because a really good dollar means other economies are suffering. So I think in terms of what Trump is doing and what he said he's doing, He wants lower interest rates, and he is probably going to devalue the dollar a little bit. And that means all of the risk on assets are going to perform very well against the dollar. And that's when the alt season comes into play. So this is really bullish news. And I've shown you this already. This is the supply and demand chart for the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart coming from Cyclop. And now if we take a look at the March 19th FOMC meeting, we have a 94% chance of a no change. If we go to May, now we have a 30% chance of a 25 basis points cut. So if we go to my previous live stream, which I believe that was around 4 days ago, I just want to take a look at the probabilities. I think they show them here. February 20. Okay, so yeah, we can actually take a look at them here. I forgot they have the history. So February 14th, 2025, we had an 18.5% chance of a 25 basis points cut. Now it's gone up to 30.5%. So as you can see, this is moving up. And now we even have a 50 basis points cut potentially, right? But it's very, very low probability. Usually the expectations are correct. And if they're not, that could cause a dump or a pump, depending on what occurs. So if we have 67% expecting a no change, and then we do indeed get a 25 basis points cut, that could cause a massive surge in the prices of the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, because this is something that the markets did not price in. They're pricing in the expectation of the majority. So very interesting to keep in mind all of this. But again, Bitcoin did very well with an anti-crypto government, and they're definitely going to do well with a pro-crypto government. So I don't think this matters in the long term for Bitcoin specifically. For our alt season, this is more important. Okay, now let's start going through your requests, and let's see if maybe I can show you a few coins that you can get into. So let me see if I have any questions, general questions. Have you noticed that Pi Network launched an insane 195 billion market cap yesterday? Yes, so I did notice that. And in fact, around 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I was mining Pi tokens, but I stopped doing that. And I don't know if I can get my old account back. I probably should try doing that, to be honest. But they're on OKX with a 265 mil. Look at that trading volume. That is insane. But I think this is going to be short-lived. I don't think this is going to see much upside in the long term. I could be wrong, but usually this is not usually, but what I think is going to happen is that people are going to start selling their coins that they have been mining for years. Okay. And at some point when all of those coins are gone, there's no one else to trade with. I don't think people are going to be buying this as a long-term hold, right? Maybe they're getting into it right now as a speculative trade because they're expecting a price surge because it's a new token. We might have a Binance listing, of course, that could help us out. But I think in the next 6 months, this is probably going to stabilize and it won't see like a massive, massive move to the upside. That's just what I think. And I should probably take a look at I don't know if I can restore. Can I even restore my Pi wallet? I'm not sure. I have to. Let me know if anyone has restored their Pi wallet. Let me know. I think I have a good amount of tokens there. I mean, right now it's trading at $1.20. Maybe it's a decent amount of money. We'll see. And of course, Elorm, thank you for joining and welcome to our live stream. Always great to have you. Hi, Hazik. Will the large cap alts run before the low caps generally? So the way the liquidity runs from Bitcoin to Ethereum to high caps to mid caps to low caps isn't how it happened this time around. So we had the high caps run. If we go back to the CoinMarketCap page, all of the high caps, including Chainlink, Cardano, XRP, Solana, BNB, we had Hedera, we had, well, Polkadot didn't really do anything. We had Uniswap, we had Near Protocol. Well, Near Protocol isn't really a high cap. Well, I consider high caps after 3 billion, so technically Near Protocol is a high cap. But a lot of these coins had massive moves to the upside, and we didn't really see that for mid caps, right? Not to the extent that we usually saw that in the previous altcoin seasons. So I think that cycle has been disrupted, and I think what's going to happen next is that we're not going to have this alt season that's based on sections. We could have separate narratives that pump because of certain news or events, but in general, I think there won't be this specific cycle of liquidity going through high caps, low caps, etc. I think low caps are going to pump. I think some high caps are going to pump. I think a lot of the mid caps and high caps are going to print their all-time highs in between May and August 2025. Even if Bitcoin continues pumping, past September, it's possible that those coins will remain below those all-time highs from May to August 2025. And the reason for that is because we've seen that exact thing play out with a lot of altcoins in 2021. For example, Cardano, if we go back to all time, Cardano printed its all-time high at $2.90 back in September 2021, or that was like August, the end of August. And while Bitcoin printed its all-time high in November, a few months after that. So this is the reason I'm saying you shouldn't be really focusing in on Bitcoin cycle top to assume that your altcoin has peaked, because it's possible it peaks before Bitcoin or it peaks after Bitcoin. The reason and why is because that's how the markets work. You can't really predict what's going to happen. So just take profits gradually, dollar cost average out as we get our next pump, and just get out of the market safely. Crypto Archie, how are you doing, my friend? I'm doing great. Reach out to me. I think I sent you a message on Telegram. Any altcoins, Archie, you want me to take a look at? Let me know. Cliche, welcome as always. Now let's start going through. And by the way, Sean, let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. Let me know what your understanding is at the moment. But that's what I'm seeing in this cycle. Okay, so let's go to UTK. This is our first request. So this is a low cap project, and they've rebranded to X Money. Before that, I think they were called UTrust, essentially. And this is listed on Binance. This is listed on a lot of major exchanges. It's not very hard to get your hands on this token. However, this is a legacy coin. I did hold this for a little while. We even did some TA on our Twitter page for this. So if I go to my page here on Twitter, I show you some TA that we did for UTK. So as you can see, we gave you this resistance block above us. If we go a little bit further down here, so this was our chart from December 6th, and I gave you this falling wedge pattern. I gave you that resistance block where I said we could probably get a rejection from there because we've had so many rejections since August 2022. And a few days later, so this is December 14th, we get a wick right exactly to that resistance. So we were actually talking about this coin for a long time. We covered it on our Patreon, but let's take a look at what's going on with UTK right now. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart. So this is our old chart. I can't remember when exactly did we chart this, but at the moment our bear market bottom is November 2024. We retested the March 2024 high exactly on the dot in December last year, and right now we're coming back down. So the chart looks bearish. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The chart looks bearish, and personally, I sold my coins on this pump to the upside. So I made a little bit of money, but I got out safely because I don't want to be holding this coin. It hasn't performed. I went into some other AI coins. And if you want to see exactly what I'm holding, feel free to go to my Patreon. But if you're bullish on UTK, and it's a payment solution, it is possible we're going to have some sort of a pump in the future for this. But the chances of this coin breaking its all-time high from May 2021 are not very high, because pretty much every single coin that enters a second bull market never breaks its all-time high. It's very rare that it happens. If it's gone through a full cycle before, which you could argue this coin hasn't, right? You could actually, this is the Binance chart. So if we go to the all-time chart, this actually even peaked in January 2018. So it has gone through a full cycle before. So we can't expect this to break all-time high prices. And again, this is just my opinion. This is the numbers. So you don't want to be against the odds. It's possible it's going to break its all-time high, but shouldn't you just go with the odds and go with a new project in the AI niche, in the RWA niche? I don't think you have to risk your assets that way, but of course you can do whatever you want with your money. And what I would be expecting is for the cycle top for UTK to be either somewhere at 38 cents, or it's possible we're going to get to 75 cents, and that'll be it for this cycle, right? It's possible both things could happen. I would urge you to take profits as soon as you can with projects like these, with legacy projects like this. So be careful, be careful. And once the RSI on the weekly enters the overbought once again, that is going to be a good sign telling you to sell. Okay, that's the TLDR on UTK. Yes, I agree. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I think that the previous, I think we won't have the money, the liquidity going through high caps, mid caps, and low caps the way it did before. I just think that's not going to be possible, especially with the markets maturing. With every single cycle, it's going to be less and less prevalent. In fact, what I think is going to be happening is that it's going to be more likely to see narratives pumping separately, which we did have in 2021, but I think that's going to be our staple moving forward. You think newer coins are a safer bet than Dino coins? So it depends on your targets. It depends on your risk tolerance. So if you're looking to make a 50x gains on a coin, you shouldn't be buying Polkadot. Okay, you should be getting into some AI coin that right now is sitting at very low prices. We've shown some of those on Patreon. In fact, we've shown a lot of those on Patreon. So you can get into an AI coin if you're looking for a 50x, and you have to carefully choose which one you get into. But generally speaking, that coin has more potential to do a 50x than Polkadot. However, let's say you're investing $100,000 into Polkadot and all you need is a 4x. In my opinion, Polkadot can definitely do a 4x. So if that is your target, then go with a safer coin that can almost guarantee a 4x return, and just invest into Polkadot. So it depends on what your strategy is. It depends on what your targets are. So if you're a very emotional person, you can't tolerate risk, you can't see your portfolio going down 70 to 80%, then don't invest into these high risk coins. Stick to the top 20, top 30, and you're going to be fine, right? You're going to make your 5 to 10x return, maybe even 15x in some instances, but that's decent returns. That's really good money there. And Mantra is sitting at the 1.618 that we gave you a long time ago. And we are getting a bearish divergence here on the weekly chart. We're very overbought. I exited this a few months ago, I believe, at $3, $4. We got out. And I don't think this is getting to $30, to be honest. But that's just my personal opinion. I would say Ondo has more profit potential at the moment in terms of RWA coins. So that's just a bit of alpha for you. You don't want to be buying something that already went up this much and it's sitting at a $7.5 billion market cap. Next up, XLM. Let's take a look at XLM. I think we should have it somewhere here. We don't. Let's open up XLM's chart. So yeah, Stellar also had a massive pump. And right now it came back down to the 20 EMA on the weekly, which is great. We can identify this area here as a massive support block. Okay. And if you want, you can extend this further out here, and you can see we had a bunch of rejections from there. If you want, you can even move it down a little bit to kind of catch this entire area here. And you'll have lots of rejections as resistance, right? And you'll have lots of bounces as support. So I think we're going to bottom out somewhere in this area. We can even get down to 16 cents if we have a massive crash. That's also a possibility. But from there, we're probably going to continue to the upside. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to be breaking all-time high for Stellar. It's possible this was the all-time high. Then from here, we're going to have another move into, let's say, April, May. It's going to be a lower high. And from there, we go into the bear market into 2026. That's a possibility. Lots of projects peaked out in May 2021, as opposed to November 2021, like Bitcoin did. One of those projects was Bitcoin Cash. It was a legacy coin back in the previous cycle. It's a legacy coin now. So if you still haven't taken profit on Stellar, it's not as high as we were here. That's true. But I think you should secure at least take out your initial investment, move that over into something that can make you more money. If you're bullish on Stellar, you think it's going to be going past the previous all-time highs, that's fine. You can keep your money in. But, that's just my suggestion. So we're at the weekly 20 EMA. If you want to enter this for a short to medium trade, this is also pretty good. So what we can do here is we can add a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, and now we're past the 0.236. You could target 45.5 cents. That's the golden ratio there. And as you can see, that area has lots of resistance. We've been rejecting that area from December 2024. So definitely look at that. And in terms of long term, if we take a look at the market cap of XLM, I think it's past like 15 billion or something. Okay, we're sitting at 10.2 billion. It was, I think, 15 billion here. Yeah, around 17.5 billion. So we did in fact print new all-time high market caps because of the token dilution. As you can see, each cycle we print a new all-time high market cap wise. In terms of price action, it doesn't look as good. So the possibilities of us getting rejected from that area around 60 to 70 cents is very high. And this in fact could have been our all-time high already. That's why I'm saying it would be wise to at least take out your initial investment from XLM. I'm not saying it's crashing down. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero. All I'm saying is that it's a high cap and we have the probabilities. So I'm going to try to go through some other requests. I don't want to focus on the same person. Try to do it one request per person. Do you think EVM chains are more likely to be successful than non-EVM chains? That's a question above my pay grade. But generally speaking, I do think EVM chains would have the upper hand, but just because there's lots of liquidity on Ethereum, right? And having access to those applications is always great. But again, that's something above my pay grade. So I can't really, that's a very in-depth question. But I would say, just generally speaking, that EVM chains would have the upper hand, but let me know what you think. Or let me know what's the reason behind why I'm right or wrong. Elorum is asking for BitsCrunch. Let's take a look at BitsCrunch. This is another low cap in the AI category on CoinMarketCap. And this project has been trading since March 2024. So this is a relatively new project. and it does have more profit potential than, let's say, XLM. It does have quite a few centralized exchange listings, usually projects that have Bybit, KuCoin, maybe even, we have crypto.com. Usually when they have those big exchange listings, it means there's less chances of this being a rug pull. But then if you research the project, of course, you can verify that for yourself. We're not going to do that right now. But in terms of the price action, let's take a look at the price for BCUT or BCUT. And let's go to the daily. So this correction from 19 cents, oh my God, 84%. That's a heavy correction, but this is a low cap project. So it's possible we're going to be getting these. So it went down from 41 million to $11 million market cap. It had this massive pump of approximately 876%, so almost a 10x. And then we had an 84% correction. So if you're bullish on this, make sure to research it and get into it at these lower prices. I can identify a nice support range for you. So we can take this bounce from November 2024, and we can take this support from August 2024. And we had a few back tests of resistance here. Then we broke above it, back tested it as support, another back test as support in January, and now we're losing the January low in February right now. So hopefully the bottom is going to be somewhere close. If we take a look at what the Fibonacci tells us, so we're going to measure this move, we've broken down below the 0.786. So at the moment, if this support doesn't hold us, there's a chance we're going to be coming back to the bear market bottom essentially at 0.019 cents, which is this bottom here. Essentially, this whole move to the upside has been destroyed. That's the reality of the situation, and this is why you should be taking profits. And in fact, after this bull market, I will be even more aggressive in terms of taking profits. This bull market has taught me a lot. This is my second bull market, so yeah, we're going to be much more aggressive in the next cycle in terms of taking profits. So that's all I have for BitsCrunch. I can't really give you a massive prediction to the upside. If you look at the market cap, let's say this gets to a 500 million, that's going to be a nice return for you. That's going to be a really good return. And take a look at the events that these guys are having. Is there some sort of a mainnet launch? Is there an event or a partnership that could pump the price? But technically speaking, right now, if we don't hold that support block, it's possible we're going to be on our way down to below 2 cents. Hello, JB. How are you doing? I am doing great. Hopefully your portfolio is doing better than mine. Can you have a look at the Plume chart? So Plume is a new RWA coin that is getting airdropped to Ondo holders, and this is already available on some centralized exchanges. And it's been sideways chop style chart here. So I can't really do some magic technical analysis based on this, just buy, in this case, you can just buy and see what happens. I can't tell you that it's going to go up or down. It's literally going sideways. If you buy now, it dips lower, just buy more. But this is one of the more bullish RWA coins that people are talking about. So make sure to pay attention. The public blockchain for RWFi, which is RWA Finance. And they're tokenizing real-world assets. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is very bullish on tokenization. I've said this multiple times. I'll say it again. I think RWA is going to be the #1 narrative in the next bull market. Distribute them globally and make them useful for native crypto users. 18 million unique addresses, 280 million transactions, 4+ billion assets available, and 180 live protocols. And this is their ecosystem. They have 180 projects. Paxos, Layer 0, Nucleus. So very bullish project. So make sure to look into this. So let's say RWFi. Look at how many different RWFi projects Centrifuge is in their ecosystem. Elysia, Helix, Helios. This is a big list of projects. So make sure to look into Plume. This could be a top RWA coin. Let's just confirm the market cap. So let's go to CryptoRank and let's type in Plume Network. So the market cap is 289 million with 20% of the max supply out in circulation. Let's go to the vesting and see what the vesting looks like, because if it's heavy unlocks, then okay, so essentially we have unlocks every single month. And it's around 1% that gets unlocked, and it gets more aggressive as you keep going. So around 3% here of the allocated unlocks. Yeah. So 1.08% of the max supply, 2.41% of the max supply. It's going to get more aggressive later in 2021. So starting from July, it's going to be 2.41% of unlock. So until June, until July, you can ride this. You can definitely ride this to the upside with the narrative hype. Very simple. You buy low and you sell when it pumps. Like with Mantra, you don't buy something that's sitting at these prices. You sell it there, right? You sell it there. Unless it's a low cap project that still has potential with a low market cap. But this isn't new, right? This has been trading since 2021. Here is the contract address for the Genotopes coin. I'm interested in this one if you're able to take a look. I don't think. Okay. Genopets. Then I say Genotopus. Genopets. Okay, can you send me, Cliche, send me that address on Telegram. Send me that token address on Telegram, and because I can't copy it from the comment. Unless if I, hold on, let me see if I can do something. Let me try to open, I think I can copy it. Give me a second. Yeah, I can copy it. That's fine. You don't have to send it to me. So let's see. Actually, hold on. Let's go to Token Sniffer. Can I input the contract address into? Okay, so this is it. So it's on Solana. Let's sniff this address, but I don't think it's going to let us do that. Okay, let's try a different tool that can allow us to verify the address, which is going to be, I think it's, which one? Oh, Quick Intel. Quick Intel. Let's input that and let's select Solana. There we go. Okay. So has liquidity burned or locked? No. Can mint, so you can mint tokens with that contract address. So we have 3 red flags, and they can freeze trading. So 3 major red flags. Is data changeable? Yes. That's a caution. So they're verified. Has delegated token ownership? No. Can update fees, taxes? No. And nothing in the neutral. So the number one wallet has, okay, I guess that's the treasure or something. Okay, let's go back to CoinMarketCap. Let's go to the daily. This is a horrible chart. This is a horrible chart. I would not be buying this, my friend. This is very risky. What is the market cap? 98,000. I mean, sure, if you want to put $100 in there, if this does like a 5,000% to the upside, good for you, but this is super dangerous. Look, most people are just selling this. Most people are selling. Okay. Yeah, if you want to get into this purely for speculative reasons, by all means, but this is extremely risky. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say on this. Do they have any socials linked? Hold on. Okay, they don't have a website. They don't have nothing linked. And it's showing high risk. It's what we have been farming, just wondering if it's worth my time to continue farming and harvesting. Honestly, I don't think it is, my friend. Honestly, I don't think it is. Unless this just blows up out of nowhere. But then if you want to risk spending your time farming something that may pump in the future with a chart like this, you can do that. But like the risk to reward here is not very good. Like this is most likely a dead coin. Okay, we're gonna try to go through the last 3 requests pretty quickly, and we'll try to wrap up soon. I want to keep it under an hour. So Near Protocol, we try to cover this on YouTube, and at the moment, we are hovering above this support block between $2.92 and $2.26. Great area to dollar cost average into Near Protocol, and it's been sideways since the beginning of February. I think we're probably going to see some sort of a relief rally here. We're running into the 20 EMA on the daily as resistance. I would say our immediate resistance above would be $4.33. And that is based on this Fibonacci retracement. So if we set this up properly, actually, let me make sure this is correct. So $4.24 would be your resistance to look at for Near Protocol if you're looking for a short to midterm trade. If you want to buy this for the long term until the end of the cycle, until Near starts pumping along with the rest of the AI coins, this is also a great buying opportunity. I would urge everyone to start researching Near. It's one of the top AI coins, and I think it's the #1 coin in the AI category in terms of market cap. Yep. And BitTensor is the one right behind that. So I'd actually look into BitTensor as well. Very bullish on BitTensor. And in terms of market cap and price targets, we're looking at least $20 for Near. I think 36 is your minimal target there. I think that's going to be possible. Around 40 to, so I would say $35 to $45 billion market cap for Near Protocol is possible in this cycle. I think that's definitely possible. But then if that doesn't happen, I will be selling my Near once Bitcoin, gets closer and closer to $150,000. I will be selling my Near. Next up, we have Veracity. So this is a what do you call it? Forgot the term that I wanted to use. So this is an infrastructure coin for streaming, for generating revenue, and right now we're sitting at our bear market lows, essentially. If you want to count this wick, then we even broke below our bear market bottom from December 2022, which we set more than 2 years ago. So it's not a very good chart. It's not as bad as some of the other charts, but we need to be breaking out of this massive sideways channel here. We need to break past that. And I think once we do, we're going to have a massive pump. If it's backed by some volume, we're going to confirm that this breakout is a genuine breakout, and we could be expecting, higher price targets, 2 cents, 4 cents, so on and so forth. But right now, sitting at this low here, telling you that we're going to be getting to 24 cents is just not very logical, right? That would be me simply saying stuff randomly and without any basis. So for now, what we need to see is we need to have this March 24 high broken. That's the first major thing. Once that is broken, we can start talking about more levels to the upside. In terms of dollar cost averaging, this is a great time to be doing that. The risk to reward is better here than it was here, because from here you had more. So essentially from here you had more area to dump to, right? You had all of this space below where you could retrace to. Now that you're sitting at this historic support level, it's unlikely, or it's not very likely, you're going to be dumping all the way down there. Even though it's possible, it's not very likely. So your risk to reward here is better than it was in March 2024. So you can start dollar cost averaging into this, but I would not recommend you go all into Veracity. Don't go all into any project, guys. It's very, very risky. And last but not least is going to be humans AI. I think we covered this in the previous live stream or the one before that. But again, massive crash, and let's actually go to the price action chart. So the ticker is HEART, $124 million market cap. And this is the daily chart. Let's see. So we have a massive crash from January 2022, which is when we essentially entered the bear market. 98% crash. Then from that bottom at 0.0037 cents, we went up 1,260%. From there, we had another crash of 86%. And then once again, we went up 540%. Let's see if I can fit this into a channel pattern. Not really, but you can kind of visualize a channel up or channel up pattern here. And usually these are broken to the downside. There's a high chance you're going to break a channel up pattern to the downside. And the only reason you can invalidate this is if you break the resistance. So what you have to do is you have to break above the resistance of the channel. You usually have a back test of support and a move to the upside from there. That's your bullish scenario for humans.ai. Now, since we're expecting the AI narrative to pick up and we're expecting to have a move to the upside for that specific category, it's probably the most bullish category for the next few years. I think that we're not going to be expecting a breakdown unless we have a black swan event or something like that. It's possible we're going to break below the support, but generally speaking, I would say if you land on the support here, that's going to be a good area to dollar cost average. Even right now, this is a decent range or decent price to be buying at. And as long as you're in the channel, you should be expecting to adhere to the channel. What I mean by that is when you hit the resistance of the channel, you should be expecting a move down to the support of the channel. You don't always make it down there, but that's the general expectation. And the same thing goes for the support of the channel. Once you hit the support, you should be expecting to make a move all the way to the upside. And we had a support bounce here. We didn't make it all the way to the upside. We had a correction. And the next time we come back up, we run into that resistance again. It's a good time to start selling some tokens. The positive thing about this whole picture is that we're in an uptrend, right? That's the positive thing here. Unlike a lot of other projects that are essentially dumping or breaking their support, they're in a downtrend. This is actually in an uptrend. And as long as we adhere to this uptrend, we should be good to go. And I'm not saying we're going to break out of this channel pattern anytime soon. It depends on the narrative. If the narrative starts pumping, we're going to see a pump for humans.ai as well. What you can do is you can add a Fibonacci retracement from that bottom in September 2024 to the top in March 2024, and you get the 1.618 target at 18.5 cents. And I think that's a pretty good target for the end of the bull market. That's an 11x from here. I think that's a conservative, good target for you to look at. And if you take a look at the RSI here, we're actually having some sort of a bullish divergence. What that means is the RSI is printing a higher low while the price action is printing a lower low. So that's a bullish divergence, and this could cause a small relief rally, which I think we're having right now for humans.ai. We're up 20%, and we might run into the 20 EMA on the daily, and that'll be it for this small move. But generally speaking, once the RSI is down here on the daily, on the weekly, it's a good time to be buying. If we go to the weekly, the RSI is pretty low as well. So in terms of risk to reward, this is a good time to be buying, especially if you were buying during these prices at 4 to 3 cents. You definitely should be buying right now at 1.5 cents. And that is it for this live stream, guys. I appreciate all of you joining in. I appreciate all of your comments and all of your requests. As always, this will be available as a video on the channel as soon as we're done with the live stream. So if you go to my channel and you go to the live section here, it's going to pull up all of the live streams that we've had in the past. And you can go through all of them. Lots of them are I would say you should watch most of the recent ones because we do cover very important things. If you go to the home page of my channel and you go to the must watch section here, you'll have a lot of the videos that are must watch in the sense that it has some time sensitive information or some bullish information about some narratives or some events. So for example, the Tangem wallet hack, we covered that. I covered the coins that I sold more than a month ago. We covered AI agents. We covered the top 5 AI coins that you want to research in 2024. That was 10 months ago. We actually did a new video on that, so I should add it to the playlist as well. So here, top 5 AI coins to research for the 2025 bull market. And that should be it. As always, make sure to check out our Patreon. The link is down below in the description. If you would like to get access to all of our content for free, you can do that for 7 days. You don't have to pay for 7 days. And you can take a look at all of the content, see if you like it, see if you like our podcasts, see if you like what we talk about there, and feel free to stick around if you see what you like. Or if you like what you see, I should say. And no problem, Mexican Righteous. Thank you for joining as always. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe and goodbye.